Hello, and welcome to my new series, Release Your Radiant Being. Now, about 20 years ago, I wrote this book, Working with Your Guardian Angel, and it's still in print, and I still get lovely feedback from the people who follow the content. It's laid out as a 12-week course in which I describe the ways in which you can discover the genius or the daimon that is part of you. Now, I think the part of you is the most important thing that I want to emphasize. And this is why I talk about radiant being. Because quite often, when people talk about an angel or a guardian angel, they think in terms of this being a spirit, which is perhaps kind of floating around in the air, floating around on one of your shoulders perhaps, and turning up when you need them. Now, there is actually no question that they turn up because they are always there. And it is always there. Your genius, your daimon, your guardian angel, your radiant being is ever present. And one of the things that has happened over many generations, I believe, is that there have been two different ways of considering this divine supporter. And one of them was definitely to think of it as something separate from oneself, even though guarding you, watching over you, being there in times of danger or crisis, so you could call on them. But to go back to that word, turn up, it's not the right expression at all. Because this presence is engaged with who you are at all levels. So there is actually no difference between the physicality, the walkie-talkie human person that you are, and this genius, daimon, guardian angel, radiant being. And it's partly because of this misunderstanding, as I think this is quite serious misunderstanding, that I've chosen to call my new book, Release Your Radiant Being. Now, in 2011, I think it was, so a few years after the other book, I wrote this one, Your Guardian Angel Needs You. And my new book, Release Your Radiant Being, is a kind of updated version of that. It's not just given a new title, but it's trying to emphasize much more what you should really understand as a crucial part of your spiritual development, that this being that you may have considered to be separate from you is actually a presence which doesn't even need to be called. And this idea of turning up is just completely wrong. So why are you not aware? Why are we generally, as humans, not totally aware of this presence, which is actually kind of there all the time in us as we move around doing everything that we do? It's always there. And why do we not know that? Why don't we live wholeheartedly connected with that? Well, over the next few episodes, I'm going to talk about various limitations that we put upon ourselves that are established when we're quite young, usually when we're very young. Limitations that block the light of the radiant being flowing through us and presenting itself in the world, shining in the world. Because that's what it will do when we let go of various limitations or barriers or shutters, I call them sometimes, like the shutters that you have on a window. And I think this is an old problem, especially in the Christian Protestant way of thinking about the difference between mind and spirit and the material world. Because the Christians started to say that there were only two things, and actually there are three. So the spirit that flows through us all the time uses a template, if you like, and that is kind of what an angel is. It's a kind of template for the light energy to create something in the world. And in your case, what it's creating in the world is you. And you can become much more aware of that through your meditations, through your different spiritual practices, and you can start to unpack the blockages. And some of those blockages are thought patterns. Some of them are emotional patterns. Some of them are karmic patterns. Karma doesn't have to be good or bad, it's just a pattern. And when you start loosening those patterns, you give the radiance a free opportunity to shine through what you do in the world, how you be in the world, how you relate to people, all the work that you do. And that becomes magical. And it attracts what you need all the time. It's magnetic. It's charismatic, they say. Because it allows divinity, the light of divinity, to shine through you. So releasing your radiant being to be in the world is a key spiritual endeavour for this time, for you personally and for the collective. So look out for my next video. There will be 4 of them coming down the line over the next 4 weeks. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions about my new book, if you would like to pre-order it, or if you're interested in my course, Release Your Radiant Being, then you should email me, Theolyn@theolyn.com. I look forward to hearing from you.